Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate Investor Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andresa.
Welcome back. This is Liz.
And this is Andresa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Investor Show, where we are super committed to empowering women to live a financially free and balanced life, right? And as Andresa says, whatever balance means to you.
That's right.
So we are here for a mini-sode. We do these weekly where they're little shots in the arm of information that Andresa and I can share for lots of different reasons. We've either been through it, or it's an area of expertise for us, or it's something we've learned a lot about and that we've experienced that we want to share with you. And we don't have any guests on. It's just her and I sharing what we know with all of you. And this is all about 10 minutes or less and taking one thing away, because this is not about like entertaining you, right? This is about, obviously, hopefully we're somewhat entertaining, but about making it kind of usable in your life and actionable in your life. And we love hearing when women have taken what we've shared and done something with it.
Today, I'm going to talk about time. Time when you are having a project in your hand, a rehab, a bird, doesn't matter what strategy you're looking at. Time will affect your profit, hands down. So I'm going to share with you guys here some tips on how you can get your project done on time. So my first tip is you have a property under contract, right? So every time that I have a property under contract, doesn't matter what type of strategy I'm using, I want to have access to that property from the day that I have it under contract to the day that I close. The reason for it is that if I am doing a full good job, I want to have the architect coming in. I want the demo guys to come in and evaluate how much it's going to cost. Of course, I want my GCs, right? If I don't have a specific one to work there. If I'm vetting GCs, I want them to walk through with me in order for me to get an estimate from them. So all of this, I have it prior of closing, which saves me a lot of time. I don't wait until I close on the property. I'm going to do a disclaimer over here. I do this because I'm really confident that I'm going to close on that property. So I'm quote unquote investing my time and other people's time. The worst thing that you can do is to waste people's time. So if you're not sure that the title is good, that you're going to close on that property, I will be very conscious about wasting your architect, engineer, and GC's time on it. So keep that in mind. My second thing is, when I am walking the property with general contractors, I always have two things printed out with me and on my cell phone, which is my scope of work and finishes. So I already know what's going on in that house, if it's going to be a 3-2-1 in terms of bedrooms and bathrooms, or what the scope will be more or less, right? So I have a master scope of work and a master finishes list. The finishes, I already picked. I already know the brand, the cost. It's already there. It's laid out. I want to make sure that you guys are not just creating things new for every single project. Have a master scope of work and a master finishes list, and then you adjust accordingly. Oh, this property here does not have 3 bedrooms, only 2. So you reduce 1 bedroom. Because that's going to facilitate, saves a lot of your time, and also makes sure it's so clear to the general contractors, what are you talking about when you say finishes, right? Because people have different perspectives about it. And if you are getting estimates that look completely different in terms of numbers, one comes at 50,000, the other one's at, 150,000, there's a big discrepancy there. And that is because your scope of work is not clear and your finishes are not clear. So that saves everybody time when you have a standard for those 2 items here. So demo, I mentioned demo before, right? Again, I'm very confident that I'm going to close. I schedule demo for the day that I'm closing. I usually want to close in the morning if possible. So demo guys can start in the afternoon or the day after. I schedule that ahead because you've got to work with people, especially right now. The market, the way it is, you got to schedule them way, way ahead. The worst thing that you can do is just you close on the property and then you schedule a time with a demo guy for them to come and see the property. And then they say, okay, next week. And then you're already 2 weeks in, right? 2 weeks in, you're paying interest only, even if it is interest only on your on your loan with a commercial lender or a private lender. The time is kicking. So keep that in mind. What can you do? We had one case list. I don't know if you remember that. We were super confident about this property. I don't recommend you guys to do this all the time, but we were super confident. We made an agreement with the seller and we demo prior of closing because we were very confident about it. But I don't recommend you guys to do that because guess what? If it doesn't close, you just demo the entire property, right? So you waste a lot of money there and then they can sell it to somebody else if you don't close. Okay, great. But we did close on it. The fourth thing that I would say is have a scheduling with your general contractor. When I started working with commercial, scheduling was much more visible to me than in residential. And I don't think that in residential, we give a lot of emphasis on the importance of having a schedule. When you do several properties at the same time, listen, I do not remember when this property started, when that property started, when that other one started. And I don't want you to be stressed out about that. Having a schedule, you know when things got started based on the schedule. You and the general contractor have an agreement about, okay, we are estimating 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever your project requires. Because if you don't have that schedule as a guide, you really do not know if you are ahead of schedule or if you're behind. And the chances that you're behind because 1 week here, 1 week there, you don't know. The number 5 here that I would say, one more quick tip here on number 4. Have an agreement with the general contractor about the following. Okay, let's say it snowed or the inspector was sick or whatever the circumstance is. We are behind 1 week. We are behind 2 weeks. In that case, what can we do here? What is the agreement? Can we work overtime? Can we work a weekend to catch up? Can we have more people coming in? Have that conversation with the general contractor, because if that happens, that plan is going to be implemented. Not when it happens, it's like prior of that happening. The number 5 thing is pre-sale. Liz and I, in the new construction we did together, we pre-sold 3 properties. Drywall was up. We had those finishes board. All like people could see every single type of finish they will get. And we pre-sold all the 3 properties. And the funny thing is, like, once one closed, it's comp for the other ones. So make sure that the first one that closes is the highest as possible, because that's going to set up the comps for the next 2. And then this number 6 and last tip that I have for you is hire top realtors in the area. We did a very deep research in the area that we were building, and we got to interview, I think, 3 or 4 people, and we only the top sellers in that area, and we ended up going with a superstar woman, Julie Hanks. I'm gonna mention her here because she's really good, and she could see the same vision that we could, so she's able to sell it. So when you are interviewing realtors, try to match your vision. Right? If their vision, we had people come in and say, yeah, I think we should make this very modern, like a floating staircase. And we're like, oh no, this is for a family. right? Not a bachelor. So make sure that they see the same vision, because if they do see the same vision, they can sell it. It's very real. And that's exactly what she did. So those are my tips for you to save a lot of time.
Love it. I love it. And, Andresa, one of your geniuses, I always say it's not people's strengths, because what's beyond a strength is like a genius. Like it includes passion and personality and skills. And it's just like literally somebody's genius. And typically we have one or two or a few of those in our lives, right? Mm-hmm. But one of your geniuses is there's no question driving schedule. For anything, for that matter. Across the board. But I really say that because I think it has, talk about time. Time, like you said, kills a deal. Mm-hmm. Look at that project that I shared on another minisode, right? That it would have been amazing. And it ended up being something we had to spend a lot of money on making our private lender whole. So it literally can make or break you. We talk about finishes, talk about this, but time can make or break a project. So I love what you had to say. I love what you had to share. And I think we all could take something from it, because if you're not ahead of it, you're going to be catching up. And that's not the place you want to be, right? It doesn't matter what kind of project you're doing. So I love this. And we always encourage you listening, please take one thing and incorporate it in your life, in your investing business, and share with us what's coming up for you, because that's what this is all about. Appreciate you so much listening, and we'll see you soon.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.